On this episode of The Streets, there are many causes of crime. What are some of the solutions?
This is a very hard question to answer because my philosophy is that it has to be holistic, and attacking one without the other just will not work.
Research in Barbados indicates the following key contributing factors to crime: social and family conditions, including poverty, which mean children, especially in certain communities, are increasingly being raised in adverse conditions. Family and community dysfunction, volatile communities where there is loss of social cohesion and where gun and drug activities abound. Street culture, where drugs, guns, gangs, and antisocial behaviors are glorified. A seeming increase in anger, impatience, intolerance, where people resort to violence in response to real or perceived threats. And social media appears to play a role in that. Decline in respect among some groups for law and order. And across the region, research also shows the easy availability of guns has driven a spike in gun violence. The causes are many, varied, and some complex. There appear to be no quick or easy solutions.
We have a particular history within the region. I could go back further than maybe I would need to for this interview, but it is a system that has been inherited by our colonial masters. That suppressive style of policing. We took that on across the region, and it does not work. Increases in criminal activity, particularly violent crime, are often followed by these intensely violent on the part of the police as well, operations that often, if you take the example of Jamaica, for example, it takes on the names that are supposed to instill fear into communities: Operation Glock, Operation Ardent, Operation Acid, things like that, and they do not work. That is our history within the region, and I think we are waking up for the most part to the fact that that is not sustainable. And as I said, there has to be a balance, because law enforcement is important. It is necessary, but it cannot be the primary method by which we focus our crime prevention efforts. We have to understand what are the risk profiles for those that are likely to become involved in criminal activity or become victimized. And we have to attack those early. So we're talking about interventions before these individuals, these communities who are at risk, turn to violent behavior. But that kind of harsh suppression does not work, and I can extend that to the prison system. The notion that incarceration being the first option. We know enough to know now that does not work either, because what you're doing is primarily releasing young men back into society after they've served their prison sentence, worse versions of themselves, for them to go back into the community and not even be the same, but to be worse.
Government criminologist Kim Ramsey sees the need for social interventions as well as strong policing to, as she puts it, clean up the streets and get the firearms out of the hands of criminals.
I believe in the really seed approach. We need to clean up the streets, get the guns off the streets, a zero tolerance approach to a lot of the lawlessness that we're seeing in society. We have to clamp down on it. I've spoken to you several times, even on the radio. I've heard, I remember 20 years ago, some of the things I'm hearing on the radio I never used to hear before. Bigging up certain groups, we're empowering these people, emboldening them. That needs to be cut out. So the media has a role to play as well. We need to get back to values, get back to values, teaching values and stuff in our school system. We also, as I said, we need to work with families. We need to work with our young people. We need to have more spaces, safe spaces for young people to play, to exercise, to do things instead of having to gravitate to a block. And we need to pay more attention to these communities where these informal groups rise and basically are looked up to by impressionable young people. So we need mentorship programs. They need proper mentors in the communities. And all of these are things that are in train.
Do you see a role for the church?
Yes, of course. The church can also play a part in mentoring and working in the community and working with these at-risk youth. The church has to want to work with these at-risk youth though. But they definitely play a part, and they can be part of the mentoring. There's some young people who just need to be mentored, to be guided, because they don't have the guidance that they need. We have a lot of latchkey children who grow up without a mother. They're the ones who have to take children take to school, their siblings and so on. So and their children, and these children sometimes, I've heard teachers talk about these things. These children come home sometimes, come to school upset. They didn't get anything to eat this morning. I had to take care of my brother and my sister. Mommy went off to school, work, and left me to take care of them. They have to come home and make lunch. They're being, in some cases, they're being placed in parent roles at 13 and 14. And that can play on their minds. So we have to do a lot of work in the communities. And as I said, these are things that are currently on board, on stream with the government.
Are we making any progress?
Well, we will know yet, because social problems are not fixed overnight. If you look at any social problem, poverty, hunger, crime, cannot fix them overnight. But we have to start, and there's some short-term things you can do, but you have to start, and you have to, so there are pilot programs, and you work pilot a community, you work with the community, assess the community and what it needs in the community, and then you expand on a national level. But we have to start. But it is not a quick fix.
Director of Government's Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit, Cheryl Willoughby, issues the caution that there is no quick fix. She says patience is required. She referred to government's National Peace Program, NPP, and the work it's doing.
Prevention takes a long time. The prevention work. You're not going to see the outcomes of what the NPP is doing short term, because you're looking to change human behavior, which is a sociological problem. So, in seeking to change behaviors, it may mean that persons may have to have a little patience when they ask for success, because changing human behaviors that probably have about 15 or 16 years in the making is almost unreasonable to expect something like that to happen in a short term, right?
What does your research tell you about the source of the guns?
Well, we did. Unfortunately, we were not able to unearth the sources that may be out there. But what I can say is that based on our information, our research, we have a problem. I don't know where that problem originated, but we have a problem with guns. But we also have to bear in mind that Barbados's borders, our borders are very porous. You can land a boat anywhere around the island undetected because of the openness of our sea line. So it may mean better surveillance. It may mean to have for government to institute more detective or detection equipment at our ports of entry. Um, it may call for an island, a whole country approach for persons where they see something to say something, right? So it is to encourage people to work with the police and the authorities in order to put some sort of, to stymie what we are seeing at the community level.
Apostle David Durant is founder and senior pastor of Restoration Ministries at Britain's Hill St. Michael, a community that has also been impacted by the gun violence. He supports community interventions but wants that paired with strong deterrence.
The crime of violence is really increasing and it's creating a problem in Barbados because we are basically a tourism-based island. And consistently having these kind of murders and this kind of criminality um, in the papers and on the press and in television, embassies, overseas embassies here in the scene, and following our statistics, they can give advisories to the people. And our product that a lot of our families are depending on for their existence, to put food on the table, it can be compromised. So I think we need to definitely implement ways to reach the young people where we can help them, right? When it comes to prison sentencing, I think we should have longer prison sentences, serious crime. Some guys are saying, man, they're going to go for a short time and come back. And they're boasting about it. Give them longer sentences, right? I think also for serious crimes, no parole, period. Than negotiable. Because you can commit a serious crime and be on parole and then commit another one, you see? And we are just playing the fool. I think also maybe in the prison system, we should have a bit more harsher, a more stern level of discipline and so forth, so that, you know, when a person leaves this, they should say, no, I don't want to ever come back in this place. I should feel I want to come back in here. Not go there and feel like you're in a hotel and feel comfortable and relaxed. You know, one boy came out here recently and he said, are you only on vacation? He said he's on vacation, but he expects to go back up. And he come around here opening cars. Yeah. And he sees on vacation. What I say?
It's correct.
Yeah. He's going to go back. He's going to go back again. You see? So we are facing a problem. We need. I also think that churches within the communities have been asking churches to do that. Adopt the school within the community. Adopt a school discipline. You know, where you can go to the principal and the teachers and talk to them. And when there are needs within that church, that school system, with any child or so forth, they can ask us to come in to help in one way or the other. Right? If that person needs help the church should be able to help them. They need uniforms, they need books, they need help to really help with the schooling. If they're bending in a deviant way, we should really help to bring them back at the church, to talk with them, and to guide them with love, you know? Fathering, parental approach, rather than just throwing them under the bus. Have a parental approach to woo them. So I think we should adopt a school within our communities. And if schools are open to that concept and the idea, I think it will help, because before they go into secondary school, at least you will have a foundation laid. Even if they didn't go to Sunday school, you have a foundation laid in them before they go to primary school.
Religious leaders see a role for the church in what many see as a needed societal reset, a reassertion and reinforcement of social values. Rector of St. David's Anglican Church, Canon Newell Burke.
Church has got to continue to do what it does, that is, proclaim its message. Proclaim its message. I think the church has got to continue to proclaim the message of the gospel. I think that All members of church have to be engaged in the mission of the church. All members of church have to be involved and engaged in the mission of the church. And it is not just clergy, because sometimes when we think of church, we think particularly of clergy. And certainly the leadership of the church has a role to play. We have to be able to give opinion and comment on what we see taking place within society.
And are you doing enough
To
of that?
speak. Are we doing it? Yes. Can we do more? Certainly. We have to do more of that. Sometimes I too, myself, listen for, the voice of colleagues. Certainly we do what we do within the context of Sunday morning homily and so on. Many of those homilies, many of those services are streamed online, and so on. So can we do more? Yes. Can we speak more often? Sure, we ought to speak a bit more often. Can we utilize the other means and so on out there, the news items and so on? Yes, we can.
What do you want to say to the country? Say it to the young people. Say to those involved in crime. Say it to the guideline. What do you want to say? What's your message?
I want to say to those who are involved in crime that it does not have to be like this, that there is a better way. There's a more excellent way. There's a way of dealing with issues and challenges. I would also like to say, that there's always someone to whom you can talk. There are always persons to whom you can have recourse, to have a conversation with, to discuss the issues that you're having, to say, this is what I'm facing, and what would be the best way of dealing with this. I would like to say to our young people in general that God Almighty has filled them with many gifts and graces, energies, and so on that can be used for good, and that they must utilize all of the resources at their disposal. I like to say to them, look, I've spoken to many elderly people, many mature people, some are retired now, who said if they only had the kind of opportunities that young people have now, the free education, access to classes, and, I would like to say to all young people, make the most of this. And I would like to say to all young people as well, that there is a place for God and church in their lives. I've known and seen many persons who've been able to have a new perspective just simply by sitting down and chatting with someone. It does not mean, and for them, it did not mean translating into becoming a member of the church. Because I think that one of the roles of the church is that it says in influencing behavior and influencing thought and so on. And so when we speak, it is not simply a matter of trying to get converts, but it is a matter of trying to influence persons to right behavior, right thinking, right attitude towards themselves and their brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Despite the trends, Director of the Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit, Cheryl Willoughby, sees some signs of progress and is optimistic for the future.
As I said before, it takes time for results to happen. But I recognize that there are a number of agencies, whether it's the Ministry of Youth Affairs, MPP, Juvenile Scheme, etc., working together. I believe that some progress, over time, we will see progress, but based on my experience, some progress has been made with our young people. We have, and not all young people are bad, I do not want to communicate that. We have some excellent young people working at the community level, working at the institutional levels to push Barbados forward. I mean, I'm a mother of two youngsters, one 26, one 34 years old. So I understand. We do have young people who are doing wonderful work out there, but it is to bring the others, to even use the young people who are doing well, to bring them on board to assist us in what we're doing, because the young people really don't want to hear from the old people. So it's to bring them on board to work with us to reach other young people.
You see this battle being for the long haul.
It isn't something that is going to go away overnight because it was not created overnight. So it means that we all have to work together and pool our resources in order to make a dent in what we are seeing. I want to see more goal oriented and solution and oriented policing. I want to see where police officers are out there identifying social problems so that they can feed the information back to the social agencies. I want to see MPP and all of those persons working at the community level going out there, knowing what the risk factors are, identifying the needs for our communities and working to realize those needs. That's the solution, you know. That's the solution. We have to have an idea of what those needs are within our communities. It means that we may have to do needs assessments in these high crime communities to find out exactly what the young people need. No longer can we sit behind our desks and know what the young people need. We got to get out there and ask them, what do you need? What are your challenges? What are your barriers? What would you like to see happen? And bring them as part of the conversation so that when we are targeting our young people with what our research is showing us, what we're doing is relevant and targeted.
Even in the at risk communities, such as the Skunk Park block at Silver Hill Christchurch, there is desire for a positive change.
Gonna give you an example. As you said, certain children of today is not young children too. So coming out as a young parent, you gonna got fights with maybe you want your boyfriend in together, you want your girl together, certain little quarrels and issues. So some are gonna pick it up and be like, alright, I'm doing this with children or this and thing to get a boyfriend or to get a girlfriend, so be back and forth with issues. Or I just say yes, it's gonna be the guidance too, you see that? But like just being with them there, and I got my children, I've been going with my children and feel like, yo, this is the word to me. So like when I look at that, I say like this is what we should be doing in life, looking out for these children to make sure these better, make sure these care, doing certain things, seeing better for them, because you want better for yourself, so you don't want better for them. Basically, we just need to like know like we could come out, help interact with children, interact with people, get to do things more, get more things going on in the communities that we could help involve yourself with the children too and involve yourself with the community so we could get to know like this is what we both. I understand the violence in the area, but if we don't come together and find a solution or talk about it, we can't find a solution. So we need to come together.
Correct. What I want to say is not every person that is in these communities is people that are on that violence. There's supposed to be stigma. There's a stigma, yes, surrounding the areas, but we here talking to you could be proof that not every single person within the area is on violence. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to. And government, you need to meet halfway with the people so that certain things could get put in place and implemented that the younger generation could see for themselves this is the outcome when you do this. You know what I mean?
So you think things can change?
Definitely, 100% things
Right.
can change for sure.
Let's start really as men. But I find that right now it's still we getting eradicated, right? And especially I know there's a predominantly black nation, and then we as men now we got to do better. Because I feel that if we could get more forums where we know as men here could talk to the youth and put it in their head, because them the leaders, you know, regardless of what, them the young men, the leaders of tomorrow. And if we could find a way that we could talk to them and we could get through to them there on a weekly, on an everyday basis, not only when something occurs.
And more with the best them what them willing to do that can make better for this country too. For the world.
And for them children,
for them black boys, it's hard on these black boys.
You gotta really try to give them like a way out. You gotta show them that like this life that people glorifying, as we mentioned earlier, ain't worth it. Ain't nothing in it. All it is that you killing your brothers and killing your sisters and
killing yourself.
That's why it comes down to you understand? A lot of people you still here thinking like never shoot nobody, never touch a gun, never squeeze the gun. I'm not saying we just happen to grow up in an environment where, you know what I mean, as I say, granted these circumstances, it is what it was. You know, so I'm showing you like everybody just trying to do better. We got people up here, bachelor's degrees and master's degrees, and people being told to be doctors and all kind of engineers and
policemen.
I'm telling you, like, I'm telling you,
Coast guards through here. We got some all kind of too. So like, it show that we got people in the communities that's come out to be good people you see here too. It's just as the stigma showing that they can look in the image to other people that in the area gonna look bad. But as I said, we need just a functionally leading with example for children.
It start from young for sure. It start from young.
As the element as we meant to show the youths and be interactive with them. And basically that way is
but it's the minority that will be doing these things, not the majority.
Correct.
It's the minority that will be doing these things. All we grow here for 43 years. And from all that time, from the 80s and 90s, all these things happening, always either the outsiders or 4 or 5 individuals out of a community of 500 that doing these things
in the community.
In them community and terrorism community.
We could hold it as we teaching the ones that in the community to be better. Know that when the ones that God come in, they will know this is where we deal with community.
Exactly.
That's why we try to do it out here. Like every know that people come in, I got a lot of friends. I mean, they do come here and breathe with me like Ronnie. So here nice boy, you gotta come by and breathe you boy. I like up here because of the environment, the people say like, man, we are dog shooter thing. But I'm feeling that voice here. How come that like people seeing this thing and we are so sweet and cool? Children running, playing with
I think we're comfortable with you guys.
Oh, hey, one of the favorite spaces you could be.
And that's why we be more things up here every day. Saying don't cooling, looking for me like $1 as I see it, doing everything.
Funny enough, everybody's working. Everybody does do
or the school or something. We got many university students over here. People are not educated.
Masters and all that.
It's always hope.
It's always hope. Nah, give up. I don't believe in giving up.
We don't deal with that.
We don't care how much stigma that they got up here. We ain't giving up out here. Real talk. We don't deal with that. For real. We don't deal with that. We fully change. We can show them that we can be better. As they say, like we get things that to show people that like we still about things. And as I said, we got people that young people in the neighborhood that coming up to be great lawyers, doctors, coast guard, policemen in the area that we can see that we got people that can come better. So just keep constantly showing them that you could be better in ever you believe in. And once you can keep constantly doing that with young people, trust me, you can see the better that come out of these areas that people is like, man, nah, I ain't from 7 for 3, but yeah, nah. But they can't believe it. And that's how it be sometimes. Because when they come in the area now and see like, you over here with this talk here and thing, but when I hear cool, yeah, but go come back out here and breathe. I have people came from St. John and bringing the girls to come down here and breathe with me and thing. Just because they how we out here is breeze and cool. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, that's how it be. Like my man say he come from Black Rock and he come out here and see how we live out here and he welcome with me. He be like a homie to me. We know he from back then, like we were raised up together because he see the culture we live with out here. Real. And he from Black Rock.
Next, on the streets, in the streets with the National Peace Program.
I call here one of the epicenters of my work.
What's here first?
Here is Westbury. Here is Pittwick Gap. Here is New Orleans.